Hi, you guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to another week, another round, another paycheck in all of our pockets. Hopefully, I'm going to claim that for myself. I'm going to claim that for you and anybody within earshot of this podcast. Welcome back. I am your tired host, Andrea, or Drea, if you want to butcher that AN portion of my name, or the Drea, because we still got those out there too. How y'all doing? Welcome back. Had to take a little break to gather myself, clear my thoughts, come back shiny and new. I'm not shiny and new, but here I'm still looking how I'm looking. How you doing? Listen, I ain't gonna take too much of y'all time this week. Just stuff tends to be placed on my spirit sometimes just to talk about. And I remember I think I go through this with a lot of different people, be it friends, relationships, whatever. I go through this, I notice it a lot more so because I am going through it. But you know what? Let me give you an example. So, how many times have you heard, oh, I'm not a phone person, or people say, oh, I remember a friend of mine, she was saying that she hates flowers and she doesn't like to be, she doesn't like receiving gifts and all this other kind of madness, right? So I was like, shit, the person that I know, yeah, you do. You're saying this now because you're not receiving it from who you're with, and that bothers you, but you're kind of settling for not receiving it. I don't want to get off track, but so I tend to love thoughtful gifts, right? And they don't have to be conventional gifts. They just to let me know, hey, I'm thinking about you. I know you're thinking about me, Andrea. That's what you do. But I'm thinking about you, and this made me think about you. Whatever it is, it could be a piece of candy, it could be a t-shirt, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what triggers the thoughts of me and other people, but I remember one day with my most recent ex anyway. I remember I was talking to him at work, and I was just having a shitty week. It was a shitty week, and I tend to not want to burden, doing hard air quotes, I don't want to burden other people with what I have going on, because I feel like the people that are in my circle currently, I am sort of their go-to person when they need a sounding board for things, when they want to, they have something on their chest, they want to get it off. I'm gonna call Andrea. She usually has a little bit of, advice that she can give me that 9 times out of 10, I try not to be biased. I try to give them the flip side of things, to think about, look at it from this angle, but I still, empathize with what you're going through, but look at it from this side. I try to be that for other people, but it's like when it comes to my own stuff, 9 times out of 10, it's hormone driven. Like, I tend to have my little emotional outbursts when it's around the time of my cycle, TMI. But that's 9 times out of 10 what'll happen. I'll just be an emotional wreck that week. So it was one of those weeks, but work was particularly draining that week. And I remember talking to him, and he was like, what's wrong? And usually if I'm already feeling emotionally kind of out there, that question, those 2 words will just wreck me. So I'm talking about what's going on at work, and I remember I'm sitting at my desk, and I just got choked up going through everything that I've been going through that week, because I didn't tell him. We talked every day on the phone. We were on the phone for hours every single day. And I finally just kind of let him know what was going on. and I broke down at my desk. And so, he couldn't be there for me physically in that moment, but he did his best to console me, did his best to calm me down and all that stuff, and I was fine. So fast forward, I get home and there's flowers on my doorstep. Let me tell y'all something. You want you want me to melt and just because he knows that I love flowers. Also, going back to what I just mentioned, Andrea loves surprises. I love to know that, hey, you're thinking about me just like I'm thinking about you, right? And one of those things, love language is gifts. Thoughtful gifts, not just I'm spending money on you, just be spending money on you. Thoughtful gifts. And that was one of those things. And it's like, it helped that, it kind of helped bring it into that day. And, I don't know, man. I love stuff like that. I love talking on the phone with people that I find intriguing, I find interesting, I find funny. I love talking on the phone. I just love talking to them, period. So it could be in person, it could be over the phone, it could be whatever. But you have people that I started off with that for a reason, because you have people that say, "Oh, I'm not a phone person. I don't like, buying stuff for people, and I don't da da da." But with the right person, you will. Because my ex, he claimed he wasn't a phone person, but we were on the phone for no less than 2 or 3 hours every single day. So it's like different people bring out different things in you, right? So, land the plane, Andrea. So I wanted to talk about and I think I've touched on this in a different podcast before, but I wanted to just talk about it on one solo podcast, because I feel like at times people, they tend to say things, but they leave the ... with you. That's usually silent. Like, I don't like to talk on the phone. I'm not a phone person ... with you. I don't buy people things, or I don't like to I'm not ready for a relationship. I don't want a relationship ... with you. Because it was one, I was dating, I'm gonna give y'all many little story times in this. So I was dating this dude, right? This was, many moons ago. I was dating this dude, and in my mind, everything was going good. Everything was going smooth. I was in transition. And we tend to, let me put a pin in that. I see a lot of conversations going on online, talking about, it's mainly men they're gearing these conversations towards. And they're like, a man shouldn't be out here trying to date if he don't have his shit together, if he don't have his finances together, if he's living in his car or whatever the case. But it's usually geared towards men. But I was in that same situation where my shit wasn't together. I was in a bad situation when I first moved to Texas, right? So the heart wants what it wants, though. You tend to meet people along the way in your journey in different stages of life, and you connect with them. And at the time, I, of course, wasn't looking for anything. Because I was in such a fucked up situation. So when I met this guy, it was just like, I like him. And you try to force yourself not to like somebody. I don't know if you guys ever done that, but you try to not feel what you feel because you have to stay focused on the task at hand, right? And the task at hand is to not bring anybody else into your situation, is to not feel anything right now because you're in a situation, to not connect with anybody because you're in a situation of transition or whatever. But I really really liked him. And so we were dating. In my mind, I'm assuming we were dating. This is all my side of the story. So fast forward, we had a conversation, and pretty much he ended things on some, I'm not wanting a relationship or whatever, however the fuck he ended it, right? Fast forward a couple months later, he's in a full blown, he's dating this new girl and all this other kind of stuff. So what wasn't said to me in that situation that ended our dating thing was, I'm not looking for a relationship with you, Andrea. Like, you're cool, but I'm not looking for a relationship with you. Now, if somebody else comes along, or if he had, or if he was already dating her while we were together, whatever, it was true for her. I want a relationship with you. They ended up together or whatever, but it's like, we tend to not say that with you because we're thinking anyway that we're sparing the feelings of the person that we're talking to at the time. And really you're not, because eventually they're going to see the choices that you make moving forward, and it's going to be completely contradictory to what you told them. So I think there's no easy way to say that with you part, but it needs to be said. And going back to, it could be with you or from you. And it's like going back to what I was talking about, my friend, how she said she doesn't like flowers and all this other kind of stuff. She started dating this new guy and he surprises her with flowers. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I love flowers. I love everything about it. And it's like, you did not like flowers and you left out the ... from you. You left out that ending tail of that statement and sentiment, and from someone else that's showing you the attention and affection that you want, all of a sudden it's okay. And I feel like moving into situations with any kind of ship, be it friendship, relationship, so any kind of companionship, I think you need to have those with you conversations. Am I making sense? Y'all don't mind me. It's just really late, but it was on my mind. It was sitting on my spirit. And I just need to get it out because I feel like so many different things can be just clarified if we include that ... with you into our conversations that we're having or not having. You know, if you don't want something. Oh, also pop-ups. I love surprises. Like going back to what I was saying earlier, I love to be surprised. I don't like to be surprised by people that I don't want to see. I don't like talking on the phone for 2 or 3 hours with people that I don't want to talk to. So it's like, I don't like pop-ups ... from you. I don't like calls ... from you. Like, I can be that same person. I don't like pop-ups. I don't like talking on the phone. I'm not a phone person. All that can be said based off of who you're referring to, who you're thinking about at the moment, be it a stranger or people that you don't like, that you don't want to talk to. We're all, I guess, malleable when it comes to people that we like and people that we want to interact with and all this other kind of stuff. So I think honesty is what's lacking in those ... with you conversations. You feel me? Even though the subject matter may be touched on, but it's not real honest conversation because they are leaving out that with you part. And one thing, I don't know, these things tend to come up because I'm triggered by something. And I have a friend that we've been friends for years, and I feel like he's a good dude, but it's just one of those things where it's like I'm not attracted to him in that manner. And I know why the with you conversations aren't had necessarily, because it's hard. It's hard when you, especially when the person is a good human being, they're good people, and you just don't see it for them in that capacity as far as a relationship or whatever. But it's like, I was triggered at some point this week, last week, whenever the fuck it was. And it's just been on my mind. And I know that the conversation, well, let me be clear. This conversation has been had prior, but I feel like a refresher needs to happen because things are said where it's like, yeah, I want to do all these things, but not with you. Like, I don't know, y'all. I be venting on this podcast sometimes, but it's like, I need to have a with you conversation because when certain things are said, like, man, I wish we can just, go off together, do whatever together. We'd be a dope couple together. All this other kind of shit. It's like, man, you cool. Don't get me wrong, my guy. You're cool. But I want a relationship, just not with you. That's hard as hell to say when someone seemingly has the best intentions for you, when someone seemingly wants the best for you, when they really like you, when they're a good person. They, for all intents and purposes, they're just a good human being. And they're probably a great match for you, but you just don't feel it emotionally for them. That's what makes this conversation hard. And I get it. But it needs to be had still, because you're leading people on in a sense if you don't say it. And y'all know how I feel about being led on. I don't see it for people that lead people on. I don't like it. I don't like leading people on. I do have those hard conversations. Like I said, I've had this conversation with him before, but I think a refresher needs to happen because little things are still being said. Outside of that, y'all have these conversations that will stop wasting everyone's time involved. If you don't see it for that person, if they are the ... with you, cut them off. Stop wasting their goddamn time, because something that you're doing, something that you're saying is leading them to believe that they have a chance to be that person for you in whatever capacity this is. If it's a business thing, yeah, I want to start this business, just not with you. Like, you could talk to somebody all day long. Yeah, I want to partner up and I want to get this thing started, and they're gung-ho, they're in it, but you know that they won't be a good match business-wise being a partner. You have to have that conversation like, yeah, I want to do this, but just not with you, because you're not the best match for this. You're not going to be, I don't see this business being a wild success with you. Like, I want to do it, but just not with you. So these with you conversations need to be had, y'all. I said all that to say that. Have these hard conversations, the with you conversations in particular, and stop wasting your time, stop wasting their time, and let's start being honest. I think that's the gist of what I'm trying to say. Let's just start being more honest with each other and about your intentions with each other. That's all. Yeah. Okay. I won't waste. I done ran long, child. We 3 minutes over. Yeah, you'll live. All right. If you want to keep up with me online, make sure you hit me up at Life is a Trip Pod on all social media. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you'd like to send me a comment or question or suggestion for the podcast, whatever the case, hit me up at lifeisatrippod@gmail.com. If you'd like to see this mug as I record my episodes on video, you can become a patron at patreon.com/lifeisatrip. I am up to almost 50 bonus episodes. So you see this one episode being recorded, but I also have bonus episodes of random shit. My wine drunk just ranting about bullshit. But anyway, those are all on Patreon. You can see the different tiers and join if you wish. Other than that, I want you guys to do something today that your future self will be proud of you for. And that includes having these hard with you conversations. Okay. Please do. Do that for me. Do that for yourself. Do that for the other person involved. If you care like you say you do, like you feel in your heart that you do care about these people, have those hard conversations. Take some of the pressure off yourself and have these conversations. It'll be okay. Just bite the bullet and have them. Okay. I told y'all it wasn't going to be a long day, but I'm long-winded. All right. Have a good week, you guys, and I will talk to you next week.